Hello everyone, it's Mr. Bizarre here, once again stepping into the shadows to unravel tales of the uncanny, the enigmatic, and the deeply hidden. So, let's begin today's story. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, the internet began to evolve into a sprawling digital landscape, providing niches for every conceivable interest, including those of a dark and forbidden nature. It was within this new digital frontier that Armin Meiwes, a seemingly ordinary computer technician from the small German town of Rotenburg, would find a platform for his deeply hidden and extraordinary desires. From a young age, Meiwes had developed an intense fascination with cannibalism, influenced by a combination of factors, including isolation, a fascination with horror stories and fairy tales, and an obsession with serial killers and their gruesome exploits. His interest in cannibalism wasn't just a macabre curiosity, it was a deep-seated desire, one that he longed to explore and actualize. This desire was further intensified by personal traumas, such as the abandonment by his father and a solitary childhood that led him to create a world of his own, populated by these dark fantasies. Meiwes' search for a way to fulfill his cannibalistic desires led him to the internet, where anonymity provided a veil of secrecy for exploring taboo interests. It was here that he discovered and eventually became an active participant in the Cannibal Cafe, an online forum dedicated to individuals with cannibalistic fetishes. The forum was not just a place for discussion, it served as a meeting point for those who shared these dark desires, offering a sense of community and understanding among its members. The Cannibal Cafe operated on the fringes of the internet, a hidden forum where members could openly discuss fantasies and desires related to cannibalism without fear of judgment or legal consequences. For Meiwes, this forum provided the perfect venue to seek out someone who would be willing to be consumed, literally fulfilling his lifelong urge to taste human flesh. In the year 2000, Meiwes took a decisive step towards realizing his dark fantasy. He posted an advertisement on the Cannibal Cafe seeking a volunteer for a chilling purpose, someone willing to be killed and eaten. The advertisement was explicit in its intent, laying bare the seriousness of Meiwes' desires. It was a call that would eventually be answered, setting in motion a series of events that would shock the world. After some time of being published, Armin Meiwes' advertisement on the Cannibal Cafe forum found a respondent, a man named Bernd Brandis, a 43-year-old engineer from Berlin. The response from Brandis to Meiwes' ad marked the beginning of a dark and fatal journey for both men, culminating in a crime that pushed the boundaries of human depravity. The communication between Meiwes and Brandis quickly escalated from online messages to planning a real-life meeting. Brandis, sharing Meiwes' dark desires, expressed a willingness to be killed and consumed. This mutual understanding and agreement set the stage for their meeting on March the 9th, 2001. On that pivotal day of March 9th, 2001, Bernd Brandis and Armin Meiwes embarked on a journey that would lead them into the annals of criminal history. Brandis, having meticulously prepared by liquidating his personal assets and erasing any trace of his intentions from his digital life, met Meiwes. Together, they performed an errand laden with grim purpose, acquiring sleeping pills and cough syrup. This task, though mundane in appearance, was fraught with significance, laying the groundwork for the dark pact they were about to fulfill. Arriving at Meiwes' farmhouse, secluded and remote, their initial interactions were marked by an eerie intimacy and a mutual acknowledgement of the night's forthcoming horrors. Brandis, in a final act to prepare himself, ingested 20 sleeping pills, chased with cough syrup and schnapps, a cocktail designed to dull both physical and impending psychological torment. As the night unfolded, Meiwes prepared to document the events that would soon shock the world. He set up a camera, ensuring the act of amputation that both had consented to would be recorded. The attempt to fulfill Brandis's dark wish began with Meiwes trying to bite off Brandis's penis, a method that proved futile and undoubtedly inflicted agonizing pain, as Meiwes couldn't muster the force needed with his teeth alone. This failure led Meiwes to use a kitchen knife to carry out the amputation. The following attempt to consume the severed flesh was met with further difficulty. The meat was too tough, prompting Meiwes to cook it with wine, garlic and spices in an effort to make it palatable. Despite these further efforts, Brandis, weakened by blood loss and the effects of the medication, managed only a single bite of the grim meal, his own severed penis. As Brandis's strength waned, slipping in and out of consciousness, Meiwes drew him a bath, perhaps in an attempt to offer some form of comfort amidst the unfolding tragedy. Throughout this time, Meiwes periodically checked on Brandis, while also distracting himself to read, a stark juxtaposition to the gruesome reality of their situation. The act reached a macabre conclusion when Meiwes, following Brandis's inability to consume the cooked flesh and after accidentally burning it when trying to cook it further, decided to feed the severed penis to his dog. During this, Bernd had lost so much blood that he completely lost consciousness. Although cannibalism itself was not explicitly illegal in Germany at the time, the act of murder was unequivocally a crime. Meiwes, in a final act of desperation, prayed for Bernd Brandis to regain consciousness, but ultimately he proceeded to end Brandis's life by stabbing him in the throat. Meiwes then undertook the macabre process of butchering Brandis's body. He hung the body on a meat hook to drain the blood, meticulously dismembered it with a butcher's block, and stored the flesh in meal-sized portions in his freezer, a chilling testament to the depth of his cannibalistic desires. In keeping a promise that he had earlier made to Brandis, Meiwes buried the skull and other inedible parts in his garden, a grim homage to the pact they had formed. Over the course of the next 20 months, Meiwes consumed approximately 44 pounds of Brandis's flesh, an act that he documented in excruciating detail over 4 hours of video footage. This footage would later become a key piece of evidence in one of post-war Germany's most shocking trials. The discovery of Meiwes' crimes came on December 10th, 2002, after he had continued to seek potential victims online. An Austrian student, alarmed by the content he encountered, reported Meiwes to the authorities. Upon searching Meiwes' home, police uncovered a false bottom in his freezer, beneath which lay pounds of human flesh. Meiwes initially claimed the flesh was from a wild boar, but the discovery of the videotaped killing left no room for doubt as the source of the meat. Diagnosed with schizoid personality disorder, Meiwes' actions suggested a profound disconnection from the moral and legal norms of society. However, he was deemed fit to stand trial, facing the consequences of his actions in a court of law. The trial, which began on December 3rd, 2003, culminated in Meiwes' conviction for manslaughter on January 30th, 2004. He was sentenced to 8 years and 6 months in prison, a verdict that reflected the complex legal and ethical questions raised by the case. During his imprisonment, Meiwes made a notable shift in his lifestyle, becoming a vegetarian. The case took a significant turn in April 2005 when a German court granted a retrial after prosecutors argued that Meiwes should have been tried for murder. The retrial led to Meiwes being sentenced to life in prison on May 10th, 2006. In a controversial move, Meiwes has been allowed to participate in rehabilitation activities, including supervised excursions outside of the prison, albeit in disguise, as part of his ongoing rehabilitation process. The harrowing story of Armin Meiwes and Bernd Brandis delves into the unfathomable depths of human psychology, revealing the complex and dark facets of desire that can reside within individuals. On one hand, Meiwes' cannibalistic urges, fueled by a lifetime of isolation, an overwhelming compulsion to fulfill a dark fantasy, and on the other hand, Brandis' inexplicable yearning to be consumed and killed prevents an even more bewildering psychological paradox, challenging our understanding of self-preservation and the vast spectrum of human desire. This case stands as a stark reminder of the hidden complexities of the human psyche, showcasing the extreme lengths to which individuals may go to satisfy their deepest and darkest desires. It forces us to confront the unsettling reality that within the minds of some, the boundaries between fantasy and reality are not just blurred, but entirely dismantled, leading to acts that defy comprehension. So that's it for today's bizarre story. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. That's all for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.